Let's talk about insomnia because, baby, I don't have insomnia, but I have dealt with no sleep and I know how it impacts me throughout the day. And I can only imagine how debilitating it is to have insomnia and get through your day on a daily basis. So let's dive in. If I have clients who come to me with sleep issues, sleep interruptions, or insomnia, the very first thing I recommend is we need to get a blood panel. Is there anything in the blood panel that we can uncover that may be contributing to insomnia? So let me touch on a few things and areas that you want to look for when you get a blood panel that could be contributing to insomnia. So if you have high cortisol at night or low cortisol in the morning, that can definitely impact your sleep, okay? A lot of people that I have dealt with have adrenal fatigue or overtaxed adrenals. And so I encourage you to get a Dutch test or a full adrenal panel to see if you have any issues or imbalances with your cortisol and adrenals. That's number one. If you see something there, then that might be a root cause to the insomnia, and then we can go from there. The second thing that I would encourage you to look into is a thyroid panel. If you have low TSH or low T3, that can cause you to feel really low energy throughout the day, but restlessness at night. So a thyroid panel would be another thing I would highly encourage for those of you who are struggling with insomnia. So also low iron or ferritin can lead to restless legs, anxiety, disrupted sleep. So another thing you want to check is your iron levels and make sure that you have a good balance of that. All right, so you want to check your critical nutrients, especially vitamin D, magnesium, your B vitamins. Vitamin D, if you have a lack in that, which a lot of us do, I even had a lack in vitamin D and I'm supplementing and also make sure I get my good sunlight. If you have a low vitamin D, that can lead to poor quality sleep, right? Magnesium is, if it's low, it can make it hard for your muscles to relax and for you to relax in general. And B vitamins are absolutely essential because it works with our neurotransmitters and helping serotonin and melatonin levels be produced effectively. So make sure you're checking your critical nutrients to see if that could be a culprit to insomnia. You want to check your inflammation markers, specifically CRP or C-reactive protein. If your inflammation markers are imbalanced in any way, that will disrupt your sleep. It really can. Also, if you have a low-grade chronic inflammation markers, that can interfere with your melatonin production. So make sure you check those inflammation markers when you get your blood work. Many of us already know that blood sugar and insulin can really interfere with our sleep. If any of you have had a big blood sugar dip at night, you know because you wake up. So it's really important that we level out that A1C and glucose to ensure that our sleep is not interrupted, right? So check those blood sugar levels. And if you are struggling with high A1C or glucose numbers, I definitely have strategies and tips on how you can reduce those numbers, which in turn will impact your overall health, but also help you sleep better. And sex hormones, especially for us ladies over 35, can impact our sleep, as we know, specifically progesterone and estrogen. If they are imbalanced in any way, night sweats, waking up through the night, all the things with sleep can be interrupted. Our quality of sleep can be interrupted, but also testosterone for men, that can impact your mood, your sleep, even for women as well. So it's important that we get those sex hormones checked to see where they are and figure out how we can balance them. I definitely have natural strategies on how you can balance your hormones, but sometimes you need hormone replacement therapy, and that is okay. So you want to get those hormones checked, those sex hormones specifically, to make sure that you have a good balance there. Okay, so now that we touched on the main things that you want to look for in terms of the blood work, which I highly, highly encourage, because at the end of the day, we want to get down to the root cause. What is causing sleep interruptions, insomnia, lack of energy? If we know the culprit, then we can navigate that and work toward that versus trying to manage it with temporary fixes and still dealing with insomnia day after day, right? In the meantime, if you are struggling with insomnia, you haven't had any blood panels yet, this is what I highly encourage you to do to help at least minimize some of those insomnia things that are happening in your sleep. So in terms of your mental space, one of the things that you could really do is brain dump everything that is going on. If you have a lot going on in your head, dump it on a paper, a journal, just get it all out. And oftentimes that can help the brain chatter so that you can go to sleep a little bit easier. Another thing that you can do that I highly recommend in terms of mind-body connection, guided meditation. There's an app like Calm or Brain Tap, for example. You could even turn on some white noise in the background and see if that's helpful. And even some box breathing or deep breathing is really impactful. One of the things that I do with my kids, 4-7-8, it's basically you breathe in for 4 seconds, you hold for 7, you exhale for 8. And that is a really great relaxation technique that helps calm the parasympathetic system and can help you go to sleep a little bit easier. So try some of those mind-body things that can help with your sleep. We all know that sleep hygiene is absolutely essential. So I'll just kind of name a few things. Obviously, like we all know, you want to get off the screens at least 60 to 90 minutes before bed. Get some blue light blocker glasses if possible. If you are going to be on screens, although I recommend that you don't get on screens. Also, you can make sure you're in a cool room, make sure it's dark, try to go to sleep at the same exact time and wake up at the same exact time as much as possible during the week and on the weekends. Now, I know if you have insomnia, that's easier said than done, but at least try to be in bed at the same time every single night and set your alarm at the same time, because that definitely helps reset that circadian rhythm. Oh yeah, and getting natural sunlight first thing in the morning is super powerful for your circadian rhythm, for the mitochondria, which are those cells that help produce energy in the body. So get sunlight first thing in the morning. It's a powerful and simple tool. So do that for sure. If you are a coffee drinker or you like drinks with caffeine, try your best not to have them after 12 o'clock, because that's going to mess up all the things happening in the body so that you can't sleep at night. Okay, so no caffeine after 12 o'clock. And finally, the last thing I want to share with you in terms of helping you get a better sleep is try your best to avoid heavy meals at least 2 to 3 hours before bed. Okay, if you are struggling, maybe try a calming tea like a chamomile tea or a lavender tea. Also, some really amazing supplements that can be helpful. Obviously, magnesium is huge. It can be really beneficial as it helps to calm and relax the body and the muscles. L-theanine is another really great supplement that you could look into that helps with relaxation. Now, I know a lot of people take melatonin. Melatonin should only be used short term because you don't want your body to become dependent on it. Also, I've heard a lot of people who are using weed and alcohol. Now, weed can be helpful temporarily, but I'm not a big fan because you're not getting to the root. And again, I understand if you want sleep and you need sleep and it's helping you sleep, then it's, again, easier said than done for me to be like, don't use weed and don't use alcohol. But it really can impact your REM. It can impact your deep sleep, which over time, if those are impacted negatively, it will interfere with your mood. It will interfere with your overall energy and your quality of life. So weed can help temporarily. Alcohol may help you fall asleep, but it's not improving your sleep quality at all. So I highly encourage you, if you haven't already, to get a full blood panel. Find out if any of those things I mentioned are imbalanced in any way. So at least that might be a root cause and a thing that you can start working toward. But in the meantime, focus on the things that you can do in terms of the mind, in terms of your sleep environment, sleep hygiene, so that you can get better sleep. I'm wishing each of you restful, beautiful sleep. One of the things that I like to affirm over myself and my children, it is a scripture, and it says that I will get sweet sleep and sweet dreams tonight. So I'm wishing you all beautiful sleep and peace, and I hope that you get down to the root cause of what's causing your insomnia. To good health, I'm Coach Jamila. Peace.
God, thank you for sunshine. Thank you for rain. Thank you for joy. Thank looking for pain. It's a beautiful